People's Radio United.
Having Serena as your daughter and knowing her and her story more intimately than most people do, who aren't related to her and know her really well, um, has that changed both of you guys? I'm asking both of you this. Has that changed your perception on the world in any way? Has it made you see
Oh,
things you wouldn't have seen before?
no.
Yes. To me, I, I, me and Sassy sit down a lot. But to me, the world is so small right now and before. And we used to sit down. The world is so small to us. Thanks God. And we know politicians, we know how they think, and we know how smart they are, and we are there. We are there.
I think what Ollie's trying to say is no, everything that has transpired, we knew. Were we surprised the silence in America? Yes. Have we been surprised by the silence from Iran? Yes, we have been. And you know just the battle, Tim, that we fight, how much we are censored and how much we are knocked offline and how much effort is put into silencing her legacy. Serena Shim, the story of Serena Shim. I mean, just look from October 2014 to now. ISIS is a household name. No one would dare to mention that before. And now you cannot turn any mainstream media and not hear that. And something that really, really gets under my skin is when they associate ISIS with Islam. ISIS has nothing to do with Islam, and I'm a Christian.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before in other shows, if the media was reporting the facts, they would show a lot more Muslim people being slaughtered by ISIS than Americans or Westerners, or you know what I mean, or
Well,
non-Muslims.
think about that. Sassy, as a Muslim, was fighting what Muslims were doing that was wrong against the people. This is a Muslim fighting the Muslims. She was for the people.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, ISIS is like the KKK in a way. They claim to be Christians. Most Christians would say they're not. They say they are, and it's the same thing with ISIS and Islam. That's what I've gathered. I mean, I don't know either way, you know.
I don't think half of the soldiers even know what they're fighting for. I don't even think they know what they're doing, period, anymore.
Well, I mean, they're on major drugs as well, and that's something Serena reported. And
She reported it, and a year and a half ago, you see it come out.
yeah, I mean, and that's not cool with any part of Islam to be whacked out on drugs, killing people, and other stuff they do. It just seems like they go against some of the fundamentals in their religion that they claim is the reason they're out there doing the terror stuff they do. But yeah, I mean, governments are just as bad. They kill more people than ISIS ever has, and they use ISIS to their benefit. ISIS is the boogeyman needed to steal our rights. ISIS is the boogeyman they need to keep people in fear of others, to keep us divided. So exposing that NATO countries are working alongside and funding and supporting ISIS isn't something that these people want out. And that's what Serena was about to expose, I think, on top of some other things.
She did expose it, but she exposed it in 2012. So when she went back to Turkey in 2014, it was not an ISIS mission. And here you have Erdogan that had her removed in 2012. And so, like her father did say, she was brought there by some, she was killed by other, and many were complicit in it.
So what do you guys think the legacy of Serena Shim is going to be in the next 5-10 years? How do you think this is going to unfold in the future?
I'm sorry, Tim, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said, what do you guys think the legacy of Serena Shim in the next maybe 5, 10, 20 years will be from what she did, and how it's going to change things? And just a perspective view of what you guys think.
what we
It's
think.
gonna come. I tell you what. Excuse me. It's gonna come by itself. Serena Shim is coming back again. Not by her, her cases. All gonna come back, and the whole world will know Serena again.
I agree
They
with
know
her.
her now.
Mhm.
They're gonna know her then. They're gonna know her now. They're gonna know her in the future. Serena Shim will never die.
Just like we hear breaking news stories now. There's nothing breaking that we hear news stories about what's going on globally that she hasn't already told us. So everything that she said, we see it unfolding into all the conspiracy theories. They were factual. And so I think when her dad's saying she's coming back, meaning her work, her legacy is being more and more exposed, and it's going to continue. It's only going to grow.
Yeah, I figured he meant figuratively when the information does come out, it's going to be like Serena Shim punching the world in the face, the leaders of the world,
Well,
because it all started with her.
you see just through Twitter, like someone will give a breaking supposedly news story. They'll say, "Sorry, Serena Shim already told us this."
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the things she was exposing they started recently in the last year maybe, coming out on some mainstream headlines.
Well, they've been forced to now.
Yeah,
It's been suppressed for so long, and now they're being forced to. And we often think, if you would have only listened to Sassy, if you would have only listened.
yeah, a lot of things could have been handled if people would have if people would have acted, but the people that could have acted are the ones that wanted to suppress it, I think. So it's kind of
You
a
see,
no-win
They
Tim,
could have
situation.
acted are the ones that
Tim,
created it.
Judy was in Lebanon, and she was in a time of her death, and she saw how many people was, how many were there in her, when we taken her to the cemetery. It's amazing. It's amazing. You can't count how many people. She could tell you. She could tell you.
People
Yeah,
came all over the world. I mean, it wasn't real.